Well, I'll tell you the truth, Bruce Jenner surprised me because, he'd be one of the last people I ever freaking thought that would want to go for a sex change and want to change his gender. Uh, Basically because he was an Olympic athlete, which means to be an Olympic athlete, you got to have a lot of male testosterone flowing in your veins. And, whatever, man. I'm not criticizing him or nothing. He can do what he wants. The only thing I would be critical of is if you changed and you did not look like a woman and you're trying to say you look like a woman. And it's, well, you know what I heard, though? I saw the pictures on Vanity Fair. I'm not going to post those pictures or anything like that because I don't know if they're probably their own airbrush picture. I don't even know if they're airbrushed. They probably are. Who the hell knows? But he looks like a woman, right? So fine, do whatever you want. And the thing is, I'm actually leading up to some other thing here with Bill Clinton because I put two and two. Usually I make these associations that other people don't make. And I says, what would be the best punishment for Bill Clinton for all his crimes, considering the type of person he is, right? Now, for some people to do a sex change, that's what they want to do. But then for some people, it's not what they want to do. Actually, to give an example, was Anastasia in Ukraine. I used to always think that she was a 100% genetic woman. She's actually a pole dancer in Ukraine. They kind of tricked her into taking hormones or some kind of, like, whatever the hell it was, experimental, what the hell was it, sports enhancement or something like that, and they didn't tell her what it was. What they really wanted to do was have her compete as a female. Now, that was another case, too, because it wasn't actually the person who wanted to do it, but once they changed, they changed. Now, there's some people, I guess, that are born male that almost look like they're female, and maybe they have, well, it's a choice. Bruce Jenner surprised me, he did surprise me. But, I always thought this is the perfect deal that should be done with Bill Clinton. Because, all about his escapades, doing things against women that they did not willingly want to do. Some people were willing because, the money's involved and all that kind of stuff. And he's a charming guy. But then there's a lot of times, there's a lot of alleged stories out there. He did this, he did that, and all this kind of stuff. There's a lot of alleged stories out there with, the other guy that's out there in the islands with the younger girls at below age. And there's a lot of stories out there going all the way back to Arkansas. I was thinking to myself, what they ought to do? They ought to change this guy as part of his sentence. Because basically he's one of the team that's in there. And this, I'm going to tell you one thing. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, I don't give a damn how conservative they look. They're all a bunch of freaks on the top, from what I heard. And I don't know if what I heard is accurate or not, but I could believe it. I heard a lot of crazy shit about George Bush too, and but considering the way Bill Clinton has this reputation of going after women left and right for so long and all these problems and all these escapades, I think that would be the perfect punishment of him if he found guilty of any kind of underage stuff or anything like that. Because what the hell, hey man. How's it feel to be on the receiving end, Bill? How would that be? So, like maybe working the Chicken Ranch brothel over there in Nevada, where all the silver mines are, and those drunken silver miners coming out of there, and they're too drunk to see what the hell they got. So, you could be it, Bill. The Shady Lake Ranch, and with the money can go to your foundation instead of all those foreign contributions you're getting from other countries that are like. Saudi Arabia, who freaking basically whips the woman that gets raped instead of the rapist. That they do that in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, like if the person, the woman gets raped and she complains about it, they whip her. You believe that shit? There's been cases where they do that. And he's taking money from that, and Hillary's taking money from that. It's like, this is beyond sickening. And actually, the New York Times is finally getting sick of him because I guess they're getting afraid of him now because how big are these people going to get? You know what I mean? It's almost like they're creating a monster. So now even the powers that are in the media are saying we better say something while we still got the power to say something. So they're attacking him a little bit. Anyway, but yeah, that'll be the perfect punishment for this because Ron Jeremy can run the damn place. I don't give a damn. It'd be freaking perfect for you, Bill. And see how the shoe is on the other side. And we got a T-shirt. Ron's got a T-shirt for you. Truvada Horror, which means you got that drug that freaking prevents HIV. So no worries, Bill. You'll be working for years. How's that? So you know what? So some ways you look at this stuff. I know there's a lot of controversy about this stuff with the Bruce Jenner thing. Actually, I just found it would be very surprising because I always figured this guy would be like being that he's an Olympic athlete, he had to have a lot of testosterone hormone. Now, if you have I'm trying to like freaking analyze this. I'm not really trying to judge it. I'm trying to analyze this. So I was always thinking, why would he? If somebody has a lot of testosterone hormone, I would guess. I'm not somebody who's like educated in this all the way, but I would guess that if you have a lot of testosterone hormone, that you would not want to be a female. That's why it surprised me. Now the thing is, they did some kind of facial reconstructive surgery on him, and it's almost like, well, actually, when you get right down to it, like the females and the males are, we're all the same species, for crying out loud. I mean, it's almost like, what do? They shrink the jaw, make it narrower, and they bring the eyebrows up a little bit or something. They chop down the cheekbone a little bit, and it's like, yeah, you're female. You look like a female. So that's basically what the hell they did. And actually, he came out. Well, now it's she. So it's she. Jenner's a she. So it's like Caitlyn Jenner. So it came out pretty good. Surprisingly good. I was surprised. Actually, in some cases, though, I used to always watch this, I was working out because I was figuring, this was giving me more, I'd be on an elliptical machine. Sometimes I was watching videos of this Anastasia. And at one time I came across the video that says it was TG's Got Talent. I was like, what? She's a transgender? I was like, holy shit. That surprised the hell out of me. And it was like a different circumstance again. There's people that want to be transgender, and maybe they're born with a lot of female hormones. There's people that became transgender against their will, like in the case of Anastasia. But then again, I couldn't tell. That surprised the hell out of me. Case of Bruce Jenner, that surprised me because it's almost like saying, I don't know, some prize fighter or something would want to be transgender. It just doesn't make sense, it just doesn't click. Somebody that was like more feminine, you might think, but he can do what he wants. I'm not criticizing of him. And actually, when he changed over to Caitlyn, I was surprised that he came out pretty good. But then I started putting two and two together. This would be the perfect sentence. If they if Anastasia had to change, we ought to make, if Bill Clinton is found guilty of pedophilia, whatever the hell that crap is, with the other guy that was down there that has the islands down there, but in the Bahamas, whatever the hell it is, or down there in the Caribbean, I think he ought to be changed. And they ought to stick him in a Nevada chicken ranch with Ron Jeremy and his old lady Hillary. She can clean up the mess for all I care. That's really how I think about all these people right now. So anyway, maybe it's just going to be a controversial video. Maybe it's going to be quite humorous because I don't know if I went over the edge on this shit or not. But you know what? I just telling you like how it is. And I said to myself, man, what a perfect candidate to see the other side of the shit is Bill. The guy that freaking did this all his life, allegedly. I'm saying allegedly, but everybody freaking knows it, man. For crying out loud, man. And, I'm not against freaking, somebody screwing around a lot of women, but I heard he's done, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, okay? But you know what? If it turns out to be true, hey, man, you need to change. You need to change, Bill. Bend your ways. See how it is on the opposite side. That would be pure justice. Anyway, I don't know how he'd come out, but it wouldn't be too good looking. But if the drunks are drunk enough, it ain't going to matter, So, anyway, like I said, Ron Jeremy can run the place. He can watch the funds. He can make sure it all goes over to the Clinton Foundation. And he's got a T-shirt for you, Bill. How's that?